Hi, kindergarten. Today, we are going to practice cutting and gluing together. So what you will need are a pair of scissors and some glue. I'm going to use liquid glue today, but if you have a glue stick, that would be fine too. You will also need a piece of white paper like this, and then any sort of colored paper you might have at home. It can be the construction paper from the art packet I gave you. You could use a magazine that has some cool colors in it, or any other kind of paper that you have that is not white like this. We're gonna go over today how to hold the scissors and how to cut with them. We're also going to go over how to open and close the glue and how I expect you to use the glue during art class. Let's go ahead and get started with this practicing. I am ready to get started with some cutting. In order to practice, you could cut some lines or even some shapes. I might do a couple of both. When I get my scissors, I always want to make sure that my thumb is up. So think thumbs up. My thumb will go in one hole and then the rest of my fingers will go in the bigger hole. So my scissors should always be pointing away from me with the thumb on the top and the other fingers on the bottom. I never want to turn it over and try to cut like this. That's just uncomfortable. To get started, I'm going to cut along the short side of my paper, not the long side. And I'm going to start with something easy, just a straight line. So I'm going to open up my scissors and cut away from my body all the way down. Then I'm going to move my scissors forward, open them up again, and cut all the way down. I'm going to do that one more time, open them up, and then cut all the way down. I can do the same thing with my purple paper. So you can see my scissors are open, but they're facing away from me. I'm going to cut all the way down, all the way down, then move up and cut all the way down. Do you see my thumb on top and my other fingers on the bottom? Great. Now I have two lines, but my paper is still going to be kind of empty. Maybe I'll cut out a shape that we learned. I'm going to go back to my orange. Maybe I will cut out a square. To cut a square, I'm going to go out and down. Then, instead of turning my scissors like this, because that's uncomfortable, I'm going to turn my paper, kindergarten. And after I've turned my paper, I can open up my scissors again, line them up with the paper, and then cut all the way down. And this gets me a square. I can also cut out a triangle. I'm going to do this in the corner here, so I only have to cut one time. I'm going to open up my scissors and then cut down and move, cut down and move. Awesome. Now I have a square, a triangle, and I also want a circle. I'm going to show you an easy way to cut out a circle. The first thing that you do is cut a square. Cut, and then I'm turning my paper, opening my scissors, and cutting down. Now I have a square, and you might be thinking, Miss O, you said we were going to cut out a circle. Let me show you a trick. I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to start all the way at the top of my square, and I'm going to go to this side. I'm going to go around, around, around. Then I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, around, around, around. Then I'm going to go to the other side of my paper and make a curve. And I'm going to do it one more time to finish off my circle. Now, this is really easy to cut around my circle. You can see I'm holding my paper and I'm turning my paper. My scissors are always pointing out in front of me. Now these scraps of paper are pretty small, so I might just recycle these pieces of paper. I don't really need them. This piece of purple paper is still really big, so I'm gonna put this and the orange piece of paper back in my art bag so I can use them for another project. When you've cut out some different lines and some different shapes, it's time to glue. What I want to make sure to do, I don't want to play with my scissors. I don't want to leave them open because this is really sharp. I'm going to go ahead and close my scissors, and then I'm going to put my scissors point down, back away. In order to open the glue, you don't want to ever twist the bottom. I'm going to show you what happens. If you twist the bottom, the whole cap might come off, and then the glue will make a huge mess. We do not want that to happen. I'm going to only take my thumb and my pointer finger, and I'm only going to go to the very top of the glue. Do you see right here? Not here, only here. I'm going to twist the glue open. You can see actually the cap goes up a little bit. I'm going to twist it open, and now I can start gluing. When you are done, you will always twist this back closed, and then you have to make sure to set your glue up nice and tall so it doesn't leak out. So I'm going to open this one more time, only using these two fingers at the very top. You're going to turn it over, and here's the trick. You have to squeeze just a little bit. In art class, we use a little song or a little rhyme, and we say, dot, dot, not a lot, dot, dot. I use the tiniest little dots on my line. They weren't right at the edge, they were right in the middle. I'm going to take this over, turn this over, and line it up here. And then I'm going to hold it down with my fingers. I'm pressing down, and I'm slowly counting to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do the same with my orange. I'm taking my glue, I'm turning it over, and I'm squeezing it in the middle very gently. Dot, dot, not a lot, dot, dot. Setting my glue up nice and tall when I'm not using it. Turning over the orange paper. I'm going to hold it down with my fingers and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it's time for my shapes. For a square, we will use 4 dots of glue, 1 for each corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Believe it or not, we don't need any in the center. I'm going to turn this over and make the tiniest little dot, the tiniest dot in each corner. Turning it over, placing it on my paper. I'm going to put my fingers on the corners because I know that's where the glue is, and I'll count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My triangle has 3 corners. 1, 2, 3. Guess what? We will use 3 dots of glue. 1, 2, 3. I could even make this kind of go on top of the square. I like that. I'll count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, my circle is a little bit trickier because there's no corners, so I'm just going to make sure to spread out my glue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 dots is plenty. You really will never need more than that. I'll turn over my circle, hold it down, count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that I'm done with my glue, I'm going to look at the top and I can see that it's open. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers and twist it all the way shut. You might get a little drop of glue on the top. You can use like Kleenex or napkin to wipe that away if you want. Sometimes that glue will dry and then it's hard to get the glue out next time. Now, the biggest mistake that kindergartners make sometimes with the glue is they put it away and leave it on its side or even upside down. And both those things can make a big mess. I'm going to make sure when I set my glue to the side that it's standing up nice and tall with the cap pointing towards the sky. Now that I'm done gluing, I'll put my glue to the side and I can start adding some color on this if I want. If I have wet glue on my paper, I should wait till it's dry, but I don't see any glue on mine. It looks like I can go ahead and add some designs. I can use my purple marker to draw some line designs. I like the zigzag line or a bumpy line. And what's awesome is I can actually go right on top of my paper. A wavy line. I could make a dashed line around my circle. Then I can even switch and use a different color, maybe green, and I can make more shapes or make more lines. It's up to you. You can draw whatever you like. Maybe I'll do the outline of the triangle and the square. Have a lot of fun, kindergarten, practicing to cut and glue. Remember, when you cut, thumb goes on top, scissors pointing away. When you glue, dot, dot, not a lot. I look forward to doing more cutting and gluing with you, kindergarten, when we're in art class together. I'll see you there. Bye.